Me?
No, I was angry.
Yeah.
Also, I thought that you were angry with me also, in a kind of way. But when I felt you only wanted to help me, I stay like, okay, there is no fear of anything. I mean, let's trust on this.
Am I right that at some point you saw that the reality that you were seeing before on the mountain
Was another one.
was
Yes.
another one?
Yes.
So
yes.
you were in one dream, and then I helped you to see the bigger
That's it.
picture. And once you see it, there is no more reason to be angry. It's like, oh, okay, now it works. And then the energy that was gathered, it transforms to energy of growth, because with the bigger picture shows that, oh wow, so all of this happened. That means this, and that means that, and that means that I can be like that. And
Yes, man, was powerful. Was powerful.
would you like to ask me any questions? Questions about coaching that really interest you. Really interest you. I'm not joking.
In a general way or in my own way to my growth?
Anything that interests you. Full freedom.
I want to ask you about how your lifestyle was changing during the years.
Wow, man. That's a good one. That's a good one. I might take some time to
Yes,
tell a couple stories, huh?
I think that's not a good question. I mean, but for example,
Why? I loved it.
it's a good question, but not a
Not about
short,
coaching.
not short
Okay.
answer. Not,
So let me
it's
try
not a
to-
short answer.
I can go answering that for an hour, but let me try going, capping myself on 5-10 minutes, so we can touch on other things as well. This is how I drink the ginger tea.
Like a cameraman. When did you start to change your habits and realizing about? I mean, when did you start to be more awakened?
Let me start, and you help me with questions on the way to drive us to the point. My spiritual journey started in 2014. That's 11 years ago. Back then, I was an undergraduate student in the University of Pennsylvania. And it's quite an interesting place, dedicated towards Wall Street and finance and law. Now, Donald Trump's daughter was my classmate,
What is the name of the
incidentally.
What is the name of the place?
So I have
She was nice. Or not?
nice looking, or
Yes, I mean nice, nice looking, or
I didn't like her energy.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't like her energy. But she was, I guess, okay. So the classmate is a very big thing in the US because you have 2,000 classmates. Now, I have learned a lot at Penn, but that was absolutely not my place. It was not my energy. It was not my energy at all, but it was a place that forced me to grow. Similarly to what we were talking about.
okay,
Right? And so it was junior year, I think, and me and my roommate, we went to Dominican Republic for spring break, and I was coming back to the airport to fly somewhere, and I finished this book on the way back called The Four Agreements that you listened to also recently. And after I listened to that, something clicked in me. Now I had some meditation experience, maybe beginner meditation experience by that point. I was also going through quite a deep depression. It had started, I was like half aware that I'm going through depression.
On this moment? At the same moment?
Yeah. My father had died a year before that. And I was in the US, the food was weird, and there was a lot of stress, and I was a very like open-hearted and ambitious wild kid. And I wanted to get everywhere, to all the academics, the parties. I was shining academically the first 2 years, but on like Fridays and Saturdays I was drunk in the parties. And I thought that my path is to shine academically and get into a good job either in the Silicon Valley or Wall Street, using my mathematical skills to make algorithms either in the software industry, and I was working towards that. But that book had changed a lot because I saw that there is more than this materialistic world. It touched me in a very subtle and spiritual way. So my lifestyle then was academics, some exploration of, so I started with a math major, but I would take an arts class, I would take a negotiations class, economics class, psychology class. So there was the exploration, there was the working towards this career goal, and there was also partying and trying to have interesting results in social life and in relationships. That was the lifestyle.
Your food you eat, the food you eat, on this time you ate?
So the first year I was eating what the cafeteria had, just eating everything. And then when my depression started, I felt that my productivity is going down, and I said I do not agree to give myself to the doctors to give me pills to treat and heal. I have to myself go deep into the science of everything and understand. I have to understand everything myself. How food affects me, why can I be happy or unhappy? Where can my productivity be good or bad? I have to figure this out myself. I had lost my dad, and the mindset was that these things of degree, university, things like that, these are not really interesting for me. I'm interested in the real questions. If I can figure out how I can make myself happy, how I can make my productivity, bring it to what it was before and to better, I saw the vision in that. I saw that if I figure it out, then I can do huge things in life, because a lot of people are looking for that.
In this time, you were looking to be a coach?
I had no idea what that is, to be a coach. I was looking for answers for myself.
Okay.
But what I wanted to be is I wanted to be a powerful and competent individual in all aspects of life. As a man, as a human, as intellectually, spiritually, not spiritually, intellectually, I wanted to have the relationships that I wanted. So there was a drive to these hot girls that I was meeting at Penn, and they were not paying any attention to me. I'm like, I want to get the skills and get the power to be and stand in such a way that she cannot not pay attention to me, that she naturally is interested. This was the real. This was the real motivation for me.
It is I see it like a game, my friend. Like, let's maximize my abilities in order to.
It was not a game for me. It was the reality. It's like I am a 18 or 20-year-old guy, and I don't know how this universe works, but I see this creature, this wonderful girl. At least she looks wonderful, and I want her.
Easy.
It's just the pure reality. I want her. I want to get to know her. I want to sleep with her. I want to get intimate with her. I want her. But when I go and say, hi, my name is Armin, then she looks away. So what am I lacking? Am I lacking the skills? Am I lacking the power? Am I lacking the energy? Am I lacking the manners? Am I lacking the style? Or is she just not into me because I'm not her type?
What do you think it was? What do you think she ran away on this time?
She didn't run away. She was not interested.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the power, the consciousness, the awareness, the ability, the skill, the worldview that I have now. So the spark of that was in me, but it was so deep she couldn't see it.
In yourself, you felt that you deserve this girl or not?
So I have a different philosophy about deserving.
Okay.
I think that no one deserves nothing.
Okay.
There is no such thing as this.
I like it, man.
You like that?
I like it, yes.
Yeah. There is too much talk about, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that.
Yes.
There are laws of the universe, there are laws of physics. You achieve the things that you can achieve. That's it. There is no deserve. But I did feel that she doesn't see the value. Because I felt that I have the masculinity, I have the value, I have the intellect, I have the care, I have the energy, I have the sexuality. She doesn't see it. She's looking for something else. But I wasn't content to say, okay, I will just find the person that will
be with me.
Yeah.
I understand.
What I wanted, I'm like, no. I want to be in such a way that she can't not be interested in me. And it was pure natural motivation. People are motivated by money, by like nice things, by career. I think it's kind of artificial. It was a primal instinct in me. A male instinct that wants to mate, and he wants to have all the choices, and it was a primal instinct, and I owned it. I didn't say, okay, look, you just go and do your academics, and maybe one day when you have the money they will be interested in you, or you can buy them. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. I want to be the man who will, just with my presence, just with my being, she will be attracted to me.
With which percentage this primal instinct in you makes you grow, makes you change, makes you have this lifestyle you have now, this wisdom you have now, this spiritual level, this consciousness level, let's say whatever.
And one more primal instinct that I had that I want to talk about, I think it can complete the conversation, is the instinct to be totally free in this fucking world, man. Totally free to be able to travel wherever I want, to live wherever I want, to spend my time however I want. That's also a primal instinct of not agreeing to be a slave of the system, to be a slave of the society, to work long, hard hours, not knowing why I'm working, to then have the cash or the freedom to sometimes be free. But the instinct that no, I want to be the master of my time and energy in space. So,
two primal instincts, but and also you talk about your kind of depression. Like maybe these 3 points, maybe these 3 trigger points impulse you in order to grow.
yes. Yes, that's well said. If I think I can find more growth points, the desire to, but it comes to the full freedom. So if I want to be able to provide a wonderful future for my mom, it's part of the primal instinct to be totally free to be able to do whatever. It's kind of part of that. And then being seated in my masculinity and having this attraction for whatever reason that I don't understand, but I respect, to the feminine. And being attracted and having this drive to the feminine, and then getting rejections, and taking the challenge and saying, okay, I will figure out whatever it takes. I will develop the strength, the power. If the world works that it's money, then sure, I'll make money. But I don't think that's how it works, because sure, girls are well, this is a wrong thing to say. People are attracted to money. There is huge power in a state where, let's say, you have money and you are showing that you don't, but you have so much other value to bring to the table that she comes with you rather than with the rich guy that she perceives as rich. And well, you are also rich, right? But you didn't show your money.
I have a question in my mind. Is you talk about the masculine energy, and I also want to learn how you manage with your feminine energy, how you identify in which moments, in which states of mind, how can this energy helps you also, because I don't believe that there is one better than the other. I believe on the harmony between...
So let me start with that. I think the way it worked for me and the way I teach can work for a lot of guys, I think, is first to be in harmony with their feminine when they are alone. When you're alone in your room, to be okay with whatever expressions of you. You are alone in your room and you get angry and you punch the wall. You are alone in your room and then you cry and you whine. Or you are alone in your room and you speak with yourself like you are your own mom. And you speak with a gentle feminine voice to yourself. The ability to play with things when you're alone and understand that none of that is shameful.
None of that is
Shameful. So when you work with all kinds of different expressions, want it or not, you you are working both with the masculine and with the feminine. So you don't even have to separate them from each other. But you are dealing with all aspects of you. And you understand that in the absolute, it's you and the universe. And the universe gives you total freedom when you and the universe are together. It's you and the universe, or you and God, however one wants to express. And God and the universe are full love. So when you are by yourself, not to be ashamed of anything. Allowing things to express that you are ashamed of, and not being afraid for that to come up, feeling the shame and asking yourself, is this really not okay? Is this really bad? Or did I just make an assumption that this is shameful? Did the society force me to this state where I think this expression is bad? Or there is something wrong with this? Let's say you are in your room and somehow something touches you and you start crying. And a part of you is like, no man, you shouldn't cry, you're a man. And they're like, wait, is there anything wrong with me crying now? Or is that just a thought that someone or something gave me?
Okay.
In the absolute, you understand that there is nothing wrong with the natural expressions. And that's working with the feminine.
That's working with the feminine.
Acceptance, surrender to the truth of the moment. That's working with the feminine. So for someone who doesn't have that at all, and who don't accept parts of them so much that they get into a rage and they like punch the wall to the extent that their hand is bleeding, right then and there they can find the surrender. And the acceptance of that moment, of this is a moment where I'm punching the wall and my hand is bleeding, and I accept this moment fully. And when I accept it, during the next punch, I have the choice. I can if I still have the rage, I can let it do one more punch and bleed it a little more. Or I can say, okay, it's enough. And there is the work with both the masculine and the feminine, because you're working with the aggression and with the willpower of I can do one more punch and I don't fucking care.
This is like when the masculine exceeds in the bad way. Did that happen?
If it exceeds
in the bad
exceeds
like
no
in the bad way, that happened, that you get angry with rage.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exceed. It's just unhealthy. That can happen when the masculine is not yet developed enough. It's too low. It's too low, but it has the primal instinct and it wants to come out. The society forces you inside, punishes your expressions, and a rage is created, and then you go and express it like that. That means the masculine needs development. But also the feminine needs development. Because if the feminine is developed enough, it can soothe you. It can soothe you and it can say, hey, maybe instead of punching the wall, you can go and punch that asshole that's bullying you.
That's the feminine.
A feminine can say that. It can soothe you. It can say,
yes, it's like your wife.
yeah.
It's like, hey, why you don't think about doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you stay in a more soft place, and in this soft place you can act with power.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And at that moment, when someone is like punching the wall and seeing their hand bleed, it's both work with the masculine and the feminine. Because there is surrender and acceptance, of the moment, and there is the willpower. So there is the part when the two meet, and one can achieve enlightenment in such a moment. So one shouldn't be afraid, but then you don't have to get yourself in that state, right? So I haven't done it. I haven't been punching walls. So this is an example because that exists.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Armen, and this question is: I want to ask you about your niche. If you can describe your niche, your kind of person you want to work with, or you can help with.
I'm looking for people who are interested in 2x, 5x growth. Not 10%, 20%, but who are motivated to get to the next full level and then the next full level. So who are motivated to have 2 full levels, who are interested in this idea that that's possible in 1 month or 2 months. If they have that motivation and interest, that they can achieve the next full level, where their power, their consciousness, their manifestation is 5 times more powerful, that's the person that I want to work with. I am quite multidimensional. My work consists of spirituality, spiritual growth, spiritual depth. I've spent months in India and reading and researching and practicing the Vedas. About 10,000 hours of meditation in my life.
I realize that you have a lot of knowledge about that.
An experience also. More than 10,000 hours of meditation that I did myself. About 1,000 hours of powerful ancient yoga teacher training in India and throughout. Now, I come from the University of Pennsylvania, which is it's a financial hub of the US. It's the #1 undergraduate business school. So I'm connected to the business world, and I'm connected and grounded in terms of, hey, how does the developed intellectual world works? So I connect the spirituality and the consciousness to the grounded business aspect of the world. I am working with the relationships and with the masculine and the feminine. I'm working with the men who are interested in getting deeper in their masculine and achieving harmony and starting manifesting big in life, both in terms of relationships, in terms of business and career. I'm also working with women who are interested in being deeply seated in their essential truth and being in harmony with their own feminine and the masculine. There is the feminine and masculine in both women and men. That is another dimension. Another dimension of me is I'm super deep in health, you know. And so health and biochemistry and understanding the needs and the processes of the body and how we can maximize the output of the body-mind consciousness through wise and smart food, timing, sleep, activities during the day to keep us performing on the highest level. I'm interested in working with athletes and people who perform either intellectually or physically in the world and help them unlock the higher levels of their performance. So these are the many dimensions of my work. That is why usually when someone says, hey, what do you do, what do you work, right? So I'm not fully happy when I say, if I just say I'm a coach, I'm not fully happy because there are all of these like coaches in the world who just say like, oh, do this, do that, and they like try to just give you rules. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. My work is to deeply understand the case and the person that I'm working with, and to find out how, like, what small change is keeping them from their enlightenment, from them achieving their next level, and then either communicating this change with them if it can be possible, or else bringing an experience that they can find that change themselves, or else a dynamic combination of both. Another aspect that I forgot to mention of my work, and that's how my most basic training is in truth and false, and it's in logic, and it's in intellectuality.
I love your way of explaining the logic, because I think you did a lot of research in yourself in order to know the truth. So, can you talk about the logic?
That was the earliest questions in school that I was fascinated about. How do you find out if the idea is true or false? And my training started from logic. My training started really from logic, and from first solving logical puzzles, abstract puzzles on pen and paper. There is this problem, the description is given, and you have to prove something, that something is true. So if it's true, you have to find out that it's true, and you have to prove it. And to prove it means to use sentences in such a way that no one in the entire world can say, oh no, what about this case? To prove means to close all the gaps, absolutely. And that develops complete thinking. Thinking that you don't leave gaps in your mind. Now, there are many people who do that well on pen and paper, but who are not good decision makers in life. Because they are okay with these intellectual ideas in their head, and when things are defined, but to understand if it's true that if I throw the spoon in the ocean now, is that true? That's a bad thing? They will have a problem with that, because what is a bad thing? It's not defined, and they'll not be able, they don't have the emotional awareness to be able to make logical decisions and logical mental processes on the emotional field, on the interpersonal field. There are a lot of professors who are amazing at logic, but they suck at relationships. And people think that, oh no, there is those two are not related. But that was not my idea. My idea was that you can bridge the gap. If you really understand what's happening, you can still use smart logic to understand things and to figure out truth and false, not just about abstract puzzles on pen and paper, but to figure out truths such as this. I have two paths in front of me in life, and I think the left one is better than the right one. Is that true or false?
You have to prove. Why?
To understand the truth. If you want to understand the truth, you have to prove it to yourself. Sometimes the truth is that there is a 90% chance that the left road is better than the right road. And in that case, what you want to understand is that yes, there is a 90%, the left one is better than the right one by a 90% chance. You don't want to think that, yeah, the left one is definitely better. If you think that, then you're wrong, you're false. Now, if you can make great decisions on these paths in the world, in a year, you can make 100k, 100x improvement. You know why? Every minute we are making a decision. Every second there are two paths in front of us and we can choose. If the average person chooses like the worst one in 50% or in 40%, but if you can master this process in such a way that in 90% of cases, every second, every 10 seconds, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, you take the better paths in your life, become a king, man.
Yes, every decision makes you much. Each decision can change your life. I think a small one.
And what if?
Also, it's important to understand from where you choose. It is from your real essence. It is from some fear. It is also, I think it's also powerful.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
How many kings can there be on the planet?
Can there be?
How many kings?
As much as people are in the world.
That's my answer.
You know why?
That's also my answer.
You know why? Because we are our kings of our inner world.
Not everyone is, but we can be.
We can be, that's true.
And how many kings are there in the world now?
I don't have a number.
According to you. And when I say king, I mean king, queen. There might be a woman who's a king. There might be a woman who's a queen.
Yeah, sure.
So it's two masculine men sitting and having a conversation. So we are thinking about masculinity, but this is not limited to men.
No, I got you.
It's about all humans.
King, queen,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The thing is to be able to be your own leader of your decision, to have your own government, inner government.
Let me ask an easier question. What percent of the people on earth you feel are kings or queens?
Percentage, you were a percentage. 3%.
That's a huge number, man.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah. 3% of all people. Kings and queens. That's a huge number.
It's huge, man. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I was thinking 0.1%.
0.1. Can you do a research to prove it in a logical way?
Depends also
Because
on the limit of the
it's not
kingness.
easy to answer that.
Depends on what level of mastery are you willing to call a king or a queen. But let's say 1% or 0.1 or whatever. So my niche is making the person a king or a queen. That's my niche. And I also like working with people who are kings and queens.
Bro, I think
And then my intention is, can I bring something to them that can help them to make their kingdom 10 times better, happier, more powerful.
Do you think that each person during one moment in his life or in her life felt or have felt this feeling of be a king? Because I think it is an important question to connect, to have real connection. Because if I understand what is the feeling of be a king, I can choose this path.
The feeling?
the feeling, the power, you know what I mean?
If you chase the feeling, you might not end up there. If you understand the feeling and try to like go into the same feeling,
The
you might
state
not
of
arrive
mind.
there.
Let's call it state of mind.
but if you understand the state of mind and you know how to access it, you can go into it. So arguably, one moment that everyone felt it is as a newborn.
It's a new.
As a newborn.
It's a newborn.
As a newborn. As a newborn. We are kings and queens. Yes, we are helpless, but at the same time, we are also king and queen. It's full freedom, full abundance, and pure state. But that's up to a debate. We can
I
debate.
think there is a lot of debate. That's why
It's arguable.
Yes.
So if that's not the case, then no, it's not true that every person has had a moment, because if at the newborn it's not necessarily king or queen, then maybe later also no. Not necessarily that every person had that state. No. Also, if it's a momentary feeling, that's not the state. If it's a momentary feeling, it's like, oh, I'm a king. That's not a king. That's
I mean, a real king,
wishful
because
thinking, yeah.
this king looks from the ego. Like I'm a king. No, I mean a real king, bro. This feeling when.
So if he or she was a real king, then why did they fall afterwards?
We can debate this, but what I
So what I'm trying to, the argument is this: when you become a real king, you stay there most of the time, unless you really fuck up. But when you unlock that state, you stay there.
just say that.
You stay there. So so in the past there were kings and kingdoms, and they would conquer each other. And one king would go and would have war with the other king, and he would conquer the other king. And when he would conquer the other king would stop being a king. So that's true in life as well. So someone can be a king in their village, and then someone can come and dominate them, and they don't feel a king anymore. But it's not about this like winning game, huh? So I want to take us away from the game of besting each other, but being a king of your own resources. First of all, being a king of how you use your attention, how you use your mind. So it's a big part of our work that we do together, Raul, of being aware of our resources, of our attention, right? Especially today with that meditation that we started, awareness of where my attention is. The attention is my most valuable resource. Every second I am investing my attention. It's not for a random reason that everyone wants your attention. All the apps want your attention. All the companies want your attention. All the people want to grab your attention, because your attention is your energy. When you give them your attention, you give them your energy. Now, giving energy is not necessarily bad. We are giving each other our energy now in a synergistic way. That 1 + 1 is not 2, but it's 5.
How is the attention connected to your soul?
To the soul. What is the soul?
What is the soul?
What is the soul?
What is the soul?
So it's I guess let's have like a deep conversation about that another time.
Okay.
Do you remember your previous question?
It was about the kings and your
Okay.
niche. I asked about your niche.
About the niche, and then we talked about awareness. This thing, does it interest you that the attention? So I started talking about the attention, and today we were doing this meditation thing, right? So I'm inviting you to try it now, because we said that this Vipassana meditation can be done anywhere. Doesn't matter if it's noisy, doesn't matter if you're sitting, standing, eyes open, eyes closed. So I invite you to be aware of where your attention is. Don't try to control where your attention is, but wherever it is, you know that, oh, it's there.
I know what it is. But the thing is,
With 25% of your awareness, be with that idea of knowing, and with the 75%, keep the conversation, and let's see what happens. Do you take the challenge?
so yes, we were talking about the kings and queens, and if the kings or queens one time in her life or his life felt this feeling. Because, my friend, I think all of us are kings or queens. The thing is, we have to remember who we are. We want to remember who we are.
Remember in mind.
In English, bro,
How is that in Spanish?
recordar. You know what it means? Come to your heart in the Latin language. And it's beautiful, man, because when you
How is heart?
heart is corazón. So like come back to the heart, corazón, recordar.
Yes.
So man, that's also
Come to there.
It's very powerful, I think.
I love that.
It's very powerful.
I love that.
because also, I think the path and the way of a king or a queen is to understand all the layers that it is limiting his this state of queen and king. When you understand these layers, you can really,
I love that.
really connect with your heart and with your
I love that, brother.
willpower.
You know, the society takes us from our heart and pushes us to our head. By constant judging, by rules, by the silly things that people do, they push each other from the heart to the mind, to the head.
That's true, man.
And finding the path back to the heart, it's a huge part. It's a huge part. Now, I want to ask you, what is the most interesting question for you now? Forget what we were speaking about, or remember if you remember, but doesn't matter. What is the moment now? What is most essential now?
I think a good question for you at this moment, it's if you only have 20 seconds, 30 seconds to help someone, what would you do?
I would jiu-jitsu them.
Jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can even demonstrate it.
Okay.
So I would come.
You want to fight?
Huh? Okay. So now we're working with the energy.
Okay.
So there is like resistance and there is force. So
Okay.
we have the relationship already, right? So you feel that there is some resistance and there is some cooperation,
Yeah.
right? And when we touch, and when your muscles are strained and mine, and we don't like do that, but we are more gentle. But so being more in your masculine now. So you are too much following. So lead.
Wait. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now it's too much leading.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, 20 seconds are passed. And it was good training.
You wake me up. You
Did I
wake
help
me.
you?
Yes, you help me in some way.
Yeah.
I think it is very important to recordar, and that's mean the same with to stay in the body, my
Yeah,
friend.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have a lot of social media, a lot of external things that disconnect
Yes.
from our body
Yes, yes.
and do these things like jiu-jitsu, fighting, and other activities. Also,
When we are connected, our muscles are connected. The energy I have, the consciousness that I have, is in direct communion and contact with yours.
that's true. No
And-
mind.
And through that, the energy grows. So your energy. So when we make contact, then and a little bit of like force and resistance, that's a direct development path. Because we are out of the head, and the energy itself, the consciousness itself is interacting together. And when we feel the force, the whole of our being, the whole of our consciousness is interacting. So it's powerful training.
Yes, man.
You can. It's not for a joke that the spiritual masters in the past and
Were
they would
fighters,
they would
samurais, monks.
yes, but talking about something else now. They would be able to enlighten someone with one touch.
Was true.
Yes.
With one touch.
Yes, and not like enlightenment. So with one touch, you can't get someone to your level of enlightenment, but you can get them to the next level of theirs. And you can also give them like a full experience of like momentary experience of the truth. So it's powerful.
So interesting, man.
Thank you for that question. 20 seconds question. I enjoyed that. And I was very like quick. Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
So I've been thinking about this to open, to start a jiu-jitsu gym, but in a way that through jiu-jitsu to do this work that we're doing, to do spiritual development. So it's not like real jiu-jitsu, but it's like some jiu-jitsu, some conversation, but through that to achieve enlightenment, to get to the next levels, to do that thing for a year, and your income becomes 10 times. Is it possible to open a gym such that a person comes to your gym and then you train with physical, with conversation, challenge, go to hikes together?
I think it's a good idea. My
Possible,
friend.
right?
It's possible also.
I've been thinking about this for some time. I was thinking to call it Armenian Jujimufu.
Armenian Juji?
Jujimufu.
Mufu. What does it mean? What does it mean, Mufu?
Because I don't want to say Jiu-Jitsu, because Jiu-Jitsu itself is martial art. So the point is to beat someone or to protect you. That's the final goal. But so I'm changing the Jiu-Jitsu to Jujimufu to bring some playfulness in it and to just change the concept, but use some aspects of it. So I'm a good white belt. I'm a white belt that beats a lot of blue belts. So in Jiu-Jitsu there's white belt, there's blue belt. I'm also physically strong and I'm good with my basics, but I don't have the basics. I don't have the basics nailed, but I'm good with the basics. And yeah, I'm a good white belt, so if I say I'm opening a jiu-jitsu gym, black belts will come and they will say, who the fuck are you to open a jiu-jitsu gym, man? You are a white belt,
Yes.
right? So, but I can open a jiu-jitsu gym.
No, I like your idea, man. I like your idea.
So, and cool. And maybe we can go to like an MMA gym and train together and see what we can achieve on the mats. So the point is not to go 100% full force and try to beat each other, but the point is to give our neural networks and our cells another way of conversation besides words and
I would like
Yes.
it, man. I would like it. When I was young, I was judoka.
you were.
I was judoka.
Yeah, for how long?
Nah, not too much. 4 years.
4 years. That's a lot, bro.
When I was a kid, bro. I cannot remember.
How old? So you have it.
And then, around my 10, like 8, 9.
You have it running in your blood, then, man.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's running in your blood. So
I remember.
You might be able to beat me then.
The Ogoshi.
I was, if you didn't have that, I was quite sure that if we go on the floor, I was thinking I would beat you. But since you have that running in your blood, I might not be able to. Very nice.
Nice conversation, my friend.
Thank you for co-creating it with me. Much appreciated.
You like it?